Hello friends, and welcome to the Saitama Stacker channel. My name's Dean. I'll be your host today. Some interesting things to talk about, and we're going to get into that. I will say, if this is the first time you're watching, please know I only make these videos for entertainment and for community building around the Saitama token. I'm going to make another announcement right now. So I got called out a little bit in my last video, and it was actually quite fair, honest feedback for being off my game a little bit. And I will tell you, it's been a little bit overwhelming here lately with my regular work schedule, what's going on with my family, and trying to keep up with bringing content to YouTube. I have decided that I'm going to cut back a little bit, okay? So I'm definitely going to do at least 2 videos per week. Hopefully the quality will be a little bit better. It will give me a little more content to go into them because I exclusively talk about Saitama. And then if events come up and I need to do one-off videos, I'm not opposed to doing that, but I'm just starting to feel like I've got too many balls in the air. So for the next little bit here, at least through the end of the year, I'm going to cut back to 2 videos a week. I appreciate everybody's support and understanding. Let's jump in and look at what's going on with fundamentals for Saitama today, and then we'll talk about several news items that are actually pretty big, in my opinion. These are real news, not just talking about it to talk about it type stuff. All right. So the holder count for Saitama has ticked up a little bit. We're 271,153. That's an increase of 811 over yesterday. Our market cap has bounced back here a little bit. Ironically, almost exactly what it went down from the day before. So we're looking at $2,069 million in market cap and a price of 47002. Now there's some news out there today that I think might give us even more support on that positive price action. And we'll get right into it here shortly. Here, the volume for the last 24 hours, 27,744,000, a little more than yesterday. We're there, folks. I said it last night, and I believe it's true. We will have burned that 1% completely, hopefully by tomorrow, but definitely in the next 2 days. When that happens, we'll take a really good look at the history and what it took for us to get there. How long did it take? I have the data going all the way back to August. So the burn speedometer would suggest 85 days to burn 1%. That would be 4.3% per year. Which would be about 90 days, that 4.3% every 90 days, every 3 months, which is going to be really what this actual 1% burn is going to look like. Very close. All right. That's just a little bit of foreshadowing for you. Okay. In the last 24 hours, we've burned 6,300,000,000,000 tokens. All right. Let's jump in and look at some of these news stories that are exciting. I will just say, it is showing here in the last 24 hours, Saitama being up about 14%. Let's give that a quick refresh and see how that looks. Yeah, right at 14%. Okay, so big news number 1. Earlier today, everybody was reporting that the Certik audit was 55% complete. They have updated their website again. Now we're talking 75% complete. Now, this process, it says the preliminary report has been shared with the project team for their review. I don't know which project team they're referring to there. If they're referring to our project team or if they're referring to an internal team at Certik. But I do know from the Shiba audit that towards the end of the audit, there was an opportunity for Shiba Inu to address any issues that were going on or that Certik had identified and correct them, and then it went back to Certik for a final review. This to me sounds like it might almost be more of an internal thing, but if I'm just being totally honest, I'm not sure, but I like 75% better than I like 50% or 35%. So we are making some progress and hopefully moving even closer to that Saitama launch. And perhaps some of the price action, the increase, the more positive numbers that we're seeing could be related to this. They could also be related to the next piece of news we're going to look at. So we know that the Bitmart exchange got hacked and that it's reported differently, but as much as $200 million in assets were stolen, including 600 trillion Saitama tokens. So if you look out on the Twitter space today, there's two things that are interesting to see. Let's start with this one here because it's a little more straightforward. People are asking Bitmart, how am I going to get my funds back? Bitmart has answered, hi, Bitmart will use our funding, our own funding, to cover the incident and compensate affected users. We're also taking multiple project teams to talking to multiple project teams to confirm the most reasonable solutions, such as token swaps. No user assets will be harmed. Thanks. So what I'm reading there is they're going to restore tokens to all of these people who've lost their tokens in this hack / robbery. And so that means somebody's going to have to buy 600 trillion Saitama. That should be good for our price action. I don't know exactly how they're going to do that. And we'll just have to wait and see. But we certainly know what happened when 600 trillion were sold out into ETH. So hopefully the restoration of those will give us some positive price action. The other thing that I see out in the space that I find interesting and cool, is that instead of everybody attacking Bitmart for being weak or for being non-vigilant, because crooks are amazing, they're always trying to be one step ahead, and we're always trying to respond, and people with security are always trying to be one step ahead of the crooks. But in this case, the crooks won out. But here's Saitama official saying, let's take time to support our listing partner Bitmart to resolve this security incident. Well, as you scroll up through this, you see coin after coin, token after token, exchange after exchange, saying this metrics team wants to offer their support. This Hacking team assists Bitmart with security breach. Gems Raider, they're talking about giving feedback and helping, but multiple different Floki, giving some love. There's lots of different projects that instead of bashing them or telling people to, abandon that and come here, they're coming together as a community, realizing that probably none of us are impervious to this type of attack. So we're all going to have to play nice and learn together and share information to help increase the security for everybody. Now, I've talked a little bit before about decentralized systems and centralized systems, okay? Now, Bitmart is a centralized exchange, but going beyond that, and like Uniswap, that's a decentralized swap. But going beyond that, systems of government are centralized power. What's been powerful about cryptocurrency is it's living in a decentralized space where no government owns it. No one country has control. No one individual has control. The control lies out in the community, and the community is built up of all of these different exchanges, and of course us as the investors. And if we're unable to solve the problems that we're facing with all of these pump and dumps and scams and these attacks on exchanges, then some centralized power is going to want to come in and try to solve that for us. And then, in a sense, we've lost the autonomy of the decentralized whole concept. So hopefully we can come together as a community, create solutions, fix some of these scams. I don't know who we need to work with, but be careful right now. On YouTube, scam after scam after scam video is out there. You ask for help in Twitter about scams, people will respond with more scams. So just be very careful. Just know that the space is full of people who are happy to steal your coins if given the opportunity. Okay? Now, the last thing I want to talk about in the news is a post by Aaron, whose Twitter is Sideman or at Elon Mansour. Aaron is one of the developers and just made a comment about the fight. People are interesting. People have different takes on what we should be doing to best promote. The truth is, this is a decentralized project, okay? Even though the developers are out in front leading this, they don't own this. We as a community have ownership in this. So if you have a way that you can promote Saitama and get it out there, help yourself, please do. That's what I'm doing right now, making this video. I'm not paid by the developers. I've never met one of the developers. I've never had a single conversation with any of them. I just decided I like this project. It looks like it has promise. I took a position in it, and I've been creating content to try to help promote the project. Well, Aaron just says, apparently they took some feedback negative wise, but for people who say otherwise, marketing is all about exposure and letting the brand be seen by millions. Please understand also that the expenses were paid by the developers team. So it is true, there is no developing wallet. They do have Saitama LLC, but until it has sufficient revenues to be able to take on these kind of projects, somebody has to pay for it. They actually have asked for donations from the community in the past, and the community came through with that. So if there's something that you can do, that's great. I don't think this was a bad way to do it, especially where the Staples Center is becoming crypto.com arena. And this fight was huge. These guys, first of all, they put on an amazing show. I actually was able to go back and watch the highlights today. Incredible fighters, a really strong boxing match, and Saitama was there. And you have to remember, guys, our developers were sitting there about 4 rows back, and they were surrounded by people of high influence. So I'm sure there were some opportunities there for some networking. People see that, oh, there's the developers of this project. The Javante Davis was wearing a Saitama hat. They know there's a connection there, and certainly we would have been on some of the program materials and things like that. So I'm just glad that they're doing anything to promote the product. And hopefully we dial that in and get better and better at it as time goes by. I'm going to show you my reflections, and then we'll shut it down for the night. So the last 24 hours on lower volume and an increasing price, I expected a little bit of a slowdown in the reflections, but I received 72.5 million Saitama tokens in the last 24 hours. Since November 21st, when I started tracking this, I've received 1,266,000,000 free Saitama tokens as reflections just for holding the project. And if I were to give this price a quick update, 48320. Sorry to bore you there. My reflections are worth $61 in the last 2 weeks. So it's good. And the more the price goes up, the more the reflections are worth, the more the volume goes up, the more reflections you get. So it's just a great part of this project. If you haven't learned about it yet and you want more information, go to saitamatoken.com and look under the ecosystem tab. There's a nice explanation there for you. Friends, I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm going to continue making content. I'm not discouraged. I'm actually in a good place. I'm crazy blessed with lots of good things to do. Sometimes it is a little bit overwhelming. So I'm just going to take a bit of a pause, a slowdown, a deep breath. But you can reach out to me. I'm still reading comments in the videos and responding. My email is listed in the description, and I'm on Twitter. So please reach out to me if there's anything you think I need to see or need to cover. I appreciate you all so much. Everybody's been so supportive, and don't think that I'm feeling down because somebody gave me honest feedback. I think they were happy to catch me because we kind of had a back and forth the other day where they were trying to catch me on something and they kind of opened themselves up for a punch, and I took one at them too. But in this particular case, they were right. Last night wasn't my best content. I am actually a little overwhelmed with my own schedule right now. And so I just need to slow down, take a deep breath, make sure I keep my priorities straight, make sure I keep my family as my number one priority. But I love this community, and I love you guys as an audience, and I'll keep bringing you the best work that I can. And we'll just make sure that I get at least 2 good shows a week for you, and I'll supplement on top of that where I can. Hey, everybody, have a wonderful day. Check back with me later. We'll watch our Saitama stacks grow together.